Hi everyone. Welcome, welcome. This is part 4 of the live. And as you know, we have been doing the Precious Kit, full body silicone baby girl. Yesterday we did veining. Pardon me. I'm going to start, before I start painting, I just want to show you guys what my full body silicone painting usually looks like. So we're going to come over here next to my desk. I have my own personal doll, which is Collagelo, and he is my own personal full body silicone. He's adorable. He is the Kent Asleep by Claire Taylor, and his mouth is opened. This is a doll, guys. This is not a real baby. And so I hope to be able to paint a Precious kit with as much personality as my little Kent. So I'm going to just mount this camera so I can get to painting. And just want to welcome everyone who has come in. Let me get my tripod in position. Today we are going to mottle, and sorry if my hands are in the way, my fingers as I mount this. Just give me 1 minute, because like I always say, can't be professional, not when I do it. Okay, so today we got it mounted. Today we're going to do blushing and modeling. I do wish my tripod would go a little bit higher. It can, but I guess that's pretty good. Tells me that it wants to start with the face. Let's get some light on the situation. Whew, I tell you guys, I was sleepy today. So I know it's not really early, but later than what I wanted. So this is my setup. So I'll always set the baby up. Let's get her a little bit like this. I always set her up. Yeah, I always set her up under something like this. I'm happy I figured out how to go horizontal as well. Let me get on my computer. That way I can watch the live as well. This is the only way that I'll be able to actually see the comments. So it's a slight delay when I'm watching it. It also looks so fuzzy. But anyway, let's go ahead and start. And I want to thank everybody that is coming on. And just to say that YouTube is very forgiving when it comes to, doll nudity. So in the past, I have been saying that I, have to cover the doll for the nudity. It's not per se new YouTube. It's because I am monetizing. And monetization might interfere with my ability to paint this doll without little coverings. So I'm going to put a little diaper on her, and that way I don't, mess up and accidentally show something that others might be offended at. So if that is something that offends you, that's a part of the creation process when you have a full body silicone doll. Okay, so this is the little cloth diaper that I have been using, which I really like. And we're just going to put this on little Precious. That's another thing about having a full body baby. It feels, I mean, she really does feel like a baby. Look at her. Ooh, Oh, she's so floppy. I just love holding her. Okay, so I did not. I was supposed to come in yesterday and finish up with the blue veins and shadows on her back. But actually, I sold a doll. I sold one of my Reborn dolls. So not only am I a painter and an artist, but I also like to sell my creations on my shop at reborns.com. And I sold a partial, which was my Sam kit. And y'all, if y'all have been watching me, you know that Sam is that kit by Gudrun Legler. It's one of my favorites. So, oh, my hands are. It was a bittersweet. It was a bittersweet thing. I'm just cleaning out the little vessel that I want to use. This is just a condiment cup. You can just get this from the grocery store. I picked it up when I was at the grocery store and I said, hey, this will be perfect for painting. Got a little paint on my hand. So yesterday we had a whole big old fiasco of where I didn't keep my workstation as clean as I possibly should. So we're going to make sure that that don't happen today, because blue and red pigments are the worst. Okay, so we have this one clean. Yeah. I don't know why I got the dropsies. Here's another vessel that I had used when I was doing her flesh tone. I think that was a couple of days ago. That was when we did her first level of paint. This is, then we have the blue level. And now this will be the third, which is a red mottling level. So we're going to, I have been using Silk Pig. And Silk Pig is the paint that you would use, one brand of paint that you would use when you're painting dolls, silicone dolls. So you have to use paint that is for silicone dolls. I'm going to keep hold of this because we'll do some experiments with that later. I'll talk about that later. So with the modeling layer, we're going to need a red. Push her back just a little bit, guys, so we can focus on the paint. So I'm not going to put the gloves on yet. Here is Silk Pig Red, which will be a very good modeling color. Here is Silk Pig Blood. This has some brown tones in it. So there's also another brand of paint. So let me see. This actually is vinyl paint. I don't know how I got in there with my, pardon me. And this is Ultimate Fusion, which is the vinyl paint. So we will put that in the area with the vinyl paints. Actually, this is my vinyl paint. Yeah, this is my vinyl paint carrier. Let me get to my other paints. I try to set up my workstation so that I can just get right into it. But in my office, I mean, I have one office where I do a multitude of things, from painting to writing to crafting. We're also going to need one of these, but I have one that's already, that's to model with. I have one that I've already cut and prepped, which is with my other set of paints, which is not sitting right here where I thought it would be. Let's see. Here it is. Okay, so that is going to be my modeling sponge. Perfect. Let's get some more sticks. I just use these birchwood stir sticks. Look, they're kind of beat up, but you get them, if you get them by like 500 at a time, yeah, you just got to take it the way it comes. All right. So I'll show you, I have a paint caddy for my vinyl as well as my silicone paints. This is see. Wow, that is so weird. I'm taking out all of my, these are, it's called Sam, which is silicone art material. Oh, I just got everything all mixed together. I don't even know what I was thinking. So we got to put everything separately because you never know. I might need to use some of the Sam versus the, it's okay. Okay, so now my hands are dirty, but that's fine because I will have to put on gloves anyway. I intend to put on gloves anyway. Okay, so for anybody who is just coming into this live stream, I'm doing a tutorial, not a tutorial. I'm doing the steps that I take to paint a silicone doll to make it look realistic, and we call that reborning. And reborn dolls, the one you can either do vinyl reborn dolls or you can do reborn dolls made of silicone, which is what this one is made of. And so it's different techniques, and I'm showing you the technique that I use. Today we're going to use this little sponge. It has a steep stippled so that it can leave a mark that looks, that will resemble kind of like blushing, but skin textures. Okay. So tomorrow, I don't believe that I will have an episode on this, on the YouTube channel, because I'm going to be going live on my TikTok channel where I'm going to be rooting a doll that I created on that channel. So this channel was for this particular baby, and these gloves that I'm wearing are latex free, and they are also powder free. If anybody was looking for the kind that I use, it's these. they're vinyl gloves, but you are looking for the ones that are specifically latex free. So there we go. Now we also need our part A and our part B. When I handle, unfortunately, when I handle this one, it's so messy. You see all that red at the top? It's just so messy. That's probably why I don't want to really use it. So let's start with our A and B, which is our silicone. And that is the vehicle that delivers the pigment to our kit. And I don't think we'll need that much. It's not like we're just dotting the baby. And now we have to use equal parts. So that is what creates the cure. Part A doesn't solidify without part B. Also, if you put too much pigment, that will also inhibit the cure. So it will make it take a lot longer. So that's another thing to be aware of. Let's use a toothpick. And we'll start with this, which is the Silk Pig. Now, the reason why I'm mixing so many colors when it comes to my red is because Silk Pig has a magenta look to it, in my opinion. And I don't know if that's something that you can see, but it definitely shows up. It presents as a magenta on the kit, in my opinion. That's what my eye sees. So somebody else might see a true red. I do not see a true red. Now, we're going to use the same one, the same stick, toothpick, and we're going to, this time I'm going to use the Sam, which is Scarlet. And this is the one that's super messy. See how it's all over the place? Now you can use this because it's Scarlet. I just want one drop, but we got two. You can use this because it's Scarlet, but Scarlet presents to me as more orange. So I don't know if you can tell, but that looks pretty red, but once it goes on a baby, it feels really orange to me. So now we're just gonna stir this, combine these colors in. This time I did get rid of the napkin, and I'll be getting rid of this stick. So we got some red there. Let's get another toothpick. I'm going to put the smallest, we're going to put the smallest drop of blood. Just one little dab. One dab will do it. Just that amount is all I want. Okay. Let's put that here, just in case I want to add another dab. And this time we're going to switch to this stick. So it stirs a little better. Now I'm going to also thin this out a little bit. With they call it solvent, and solvent is your choice. Some people use OSS solvent. I got some on my hand. Let's just kind of scrape it back in there. I'm using Bob Ross odorless paint thinner. And you can use turpentine. So, you know, go ahead and look up what you want to use. This is just to thin out. We're going to thin out the paint. Also, if you put too much thinner in the paint, it will also make it hard. So there's just I'm going to call it a learning curve, but you start to see what you can do and what you cannot do, and how everything that you do affects the kit. For instance, I have learned that the heat, when it's warm, it makes it cure faster. So when I'm wanting to really work on the babies, but I can't because, you know, it hasn't cured yet. Like, I'm like, okay, is it ready to go to the next? No, it's not. It's still not ready. That's when I've noticed that if I set it by my space heater, literally, that's what I've done. Set the kit in front of the space heater, and it helped it to cure. Actually, my sister and I had even experimented with putting the baby in the oven, but I don't really like doing that. And she noticed some negative effects when she did that. So no, I don't remember what she said, that the reason why she don't want to do that again. So I do not bake. It's not that it will destroy the silicone. It may do something to the paint levels that you've already added. I think that's what the situation was. So I do have this little cake stand, which I can use. Yeah, let's get rid of this stick. I have a paintbrush here, and I have some solvent in a cup way down yonder. And I just want to kind of wipe off and get it kind of ready. One thing I do like to have is like a plate or something to dab this off with. I can dab it on here, but I kind of want to preserve that. So give me 1 second to get something to dab. Thank you for waiting for me. Okay. So this is just a paper plate, and it has like a little coating on it, so that's perfect. And you never know, like, you hope that the pigment is the right pigment, you know, it's not too bright. So we'll just kind of, I think that's a good color. Let's start on her little belly. I hope you guys can see well. I think that looks pretty good. Now we're going to take a new clean sponge. Now that I moved everything around. Okay, here it is. I'm about to say, I moved everything around looking for the paint. which I had combined with my vinyl paint. So I was getting confused. Okay. And then I just kind of dab some of it off. And we'll work in, I'll bring it a little closer. We'll work in quadrants. Or halves. This is like a stamp. If we feel like it's a little bit too dark, then dab it a little harder to remove some of that paint. And at the moment, what we're going for is a skin texture. And it looks like that one bit of paint did very well. Let's add a little bit more onto our stippler. And then kind of knock some of that off, because I think it looked better when there wasn't quite as much loaded on the brush. Hi, Foster Mom. Thanks for joining. We are working on getting some little color. We're modeling. We're doing a red model. And when I'll look at her and see what the next model layer is, but typically magenta. And let's do that. And we don't want the same pattern. So I just kind of keep her moving. Yeah, just, oops, I hit the camera. I got the camera pretty close, but I want you guys to be able to see her really good. Now, since we're doing this kind of top part, let's go ahead and turn her. Actually, I think I should be able to. I'm sitting down. I'm going to stand up. I'll stand up and I'll be able to move her, even though she's not on the stand. Make sure. And there we go. Let's get her straightened. Okay. Okay, so I have her in a pretty good position. Hold on a second. When I moved her, okay, there we go. I'm like, I moved her, and then I lost the stippler. And this is right here. So let's kind of dab her on here. What's left on the plate. Are y'all able to see the difference in her color? Let's get a new brush, a new cosmetic wedge. We'll do this other arm, the far arm. I'll just add a little bit of paint. So we were talking about adding heat. And putting the silicone kit in the oven, and it, like I said, it doesn't hurt the sculpt per se. In other words, the sculpt is not going to melt. So, but if you put it in the oven and you're baking like this whole baby, it could affect the paint layers that you're putting on. If that makes sense. Okay. And so I don't mind using like an air dryer if you have certain areas that you want to, got little black spots here, certain areas that you want to touch up. Like I'm going to do her fingernails, and I intend to use got some on her fingers. I intend to use my heat gun. That looks so realistic to me. I like the way that turned out. Let's get her underside. And then when I say underside, under her arms. So guys, I do have a TikTok channel, so be sure to check me out there. Oops. And watch me go live. I go live about 2 o'clock on Sundays. Let's do some stippling on the inside of her hands. Okay, I think that looks very modeled. I don't think she has any harsh red parts. Oops, I keep hitting my camera because it's, oh, if y'all seen how close that camera was, oh my goodness. Okay, so now I don't remember doing the back of her hand, so we're going to add just a little more paint. Knock some of that paint off on this plate. And let's do the inside lightly. That looks so cute. Now let's do the back of her hand. I love an open-handed baby. That is my favorite. I mean, sometimes, you know, it's okay if you have a kit that has a little bit of, like one hand is closed and one is open. Don't give me no baby that has 2 closed hands. My preference is not a closed hand baby. And did we do the inside of the palm? Let's do that. And that just shows that she had some blood flow in the palm. She's all nice and warm there. Okay. So we did the body and the arms. We'll save the front part. We'll do the front part and save the back part for last. Now we need to do her neck. And then we'll get into her head and face. And then we will do her legs. And I'll do her little nude parts off camera. So I'm just getting some color, dabbing it off. I think that's good. And then just right around there. Also on her shoulders and the top of her chest. I love this stippling sponge and that I can keep using it over and over. I just clean it with my solvent. And I use that solvent to clean my brushes too. So it's just the same. And I feel like I didn't do enough here. I don't feel like I did enough under her armpits. I don't know that we will see that much of her armpit, but let's just get a little bit more there. I love how this kit, one of my favorite things about the Precious kit is, oh, foster mom. Yeah, I know you watch my sister. That's where I first saw your name. Watch my foster mom is on the live stream. And I know a lot of people come by and they watch this after it, you know, after the live is over, and they watch the replay. So I don't think that you can always see the chat. I'm going to try to enable the chat. But foster mom, that's how I first saw her, is as someone who watched my sister. Right now, my sister, who is Sunflower Baby Angels, right now she's doing a whole bunch of stuff with rooting. Whew, she has been rooting like a maniac. And if y'all understood what that means, my sister do not like rooting. But she is just trying to get better at it, which I applaud her for. I don't mind it as much as she does. I just look at it as a necessary evil, honey. It's got to be done. And I don't really want to outsource it for somebody else to do, you know. So, okay, let's look at her face. And you can see my sister on both here on YouTube under the name Sunflower Baby Angels. Now she's also on TikTok where she is on live almost every night because she's wanting to finish her babies, and she she roots her babies on the live. So you can catch her typically later in the day, like maybe after 7, something like that. And let's just start with her forehead before we get into her face. Now on TikTok, her name is Mrs. Sunflower. And I think that's her name too on Instagram. And we're both on Instagram. I'm on Instagram too under Pepper's Reborns. I'm under Pepper's Reborns also on Instagram. Okay, let's get it turned a little bit like that. Maybe that helps a little bit. And I want to get kind of here. I don't mind if some parts of her head might show a little more darker red. That doesn't bother me. So we can make it a little bit darker here. In other words, I won't dab as much off. And like I said yesterday, I did not come back and do the blue shading on her back of her body, because I really did the arms and the legs, and off camera I did go over and darken some of the veins that I felt like were too light, and I did the back of her legs. I put like 2 or 3 veins on the back of her legs, so that helped. But I don't know. I was doing a lot. I'm trying to sell a baby on, I don't usually sell on Facebook, but I'm in a lot of baby groups, Reborn groups. And so I have been trying to use that as a vehicle to get more viewers or people, you know, to come through on my reborns.com, which is where I do sell my babies. Look at that. That looks so realistic. I love the way that looks. I really like that. Let's get a few more dark spots. Then we'll work on her legs. Actually, while I have her here, I should, in this position, I should start her, no, I'm not gonna do it. Stay with the plan, Pepper Paste. Stay with the plan. Okay, I'm gonna turn everything. That way, we'll have her bottom at the top. So we can take a look at, just want to make sure I don't knock everything over. And we'll start working on her legs now. Let's get her carefully turned. And then plus I can double check what I did on this side. Make sure I did enough. I think I did pretty good on this side. I know you can't really see very well, but what I'm going to do is just hit her ear a couple of times. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. It's just hitting her ear. Then I'll come on. I want to do her side. You can't really, I don't know that you can, yeah, you can't really see it, but I'm going to do her side a little bit more. Yeah, like that. It's a little bit, it's a lot on there. You don't have to have a special, applicator like this. Well, okay. All right. Like this cosmetic thing that I got. I just got that off of Amazon. You don't have to have anything fancy like that. You can just use your cosmetic wedge. You just poke holes in it. I shouldn't say poke because I pulled out holes. I created holes in something like this. You can put the holes in here. All right, little Miss Lady, let's work on your feet, your legs. I see a lot of black dots. These sharp scissors help, tweezers help. You can use like a toothpick also. Look, what I do is I put this on my shirt. I'm just wiping it on my shirt. Okay. This is where I did some veining. I feel like that is a little bit much, but once her legs a little creased, it created that effect. So, and then we can see some of the veins here and some on her toes. All right, let's start with her feet. And stab some of the more prominent parts out. I'm gonna move this out the way. And first, let's just kind of add a little more paint to it and try not to have a big old paint pockets like I had before. All right. Some got into the holes, and the holes is the negative space. It's supposed to be the negative space. All right. Then we'll do also this side. And like I said before, I don't mind if some parts are a little bit more prominently red than other parts. And let's do a little smear. I'm putting a little smear on my plate to see if that helps me to load. No, it's not helping me to load enough pigment. I'll just paint some on and dab it off. I also am dabbing it on my doggy pad. And we need to dab a little bit off here. Get a little bit right in there. Now, despite the fact that this is a very marshmallow type of silicone kit, she's not sticky. So I could see that where she would normally collect way more dust. So I'm so happy that she hasn't collected a lot of dust and lint. And also, I used to have a cat who liked to be in this room. And even though that cat hasn't been here in like over 6 months, and I've obviously cleaned this office, dusted and all that, there is still, I'm still finding cat hairs stuck to the kit. All right, so that's pretty good. Let's do the bottom of the feet now. And then we'll do a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit of blushing. Like we can start putting the layers on her lips. Okay, bottom of the feet. Perfect. And I'm going to maneuver her around again one more time. And then that way I can look at her other thigh and make sure everything looks cool on her other thigh. Yeah. And we'll just bring it down a little because we're going to be working on her face. But her other thigh looks pretty good. I'm just touching up a few spots that I feel like needs a little bit more color, a little more life. I hope you guys think that as you look at this, that you can see evidence of more, let's see, if I remove, yeah, guess what, guys? We are out of frame, so I can stipple her little lady parts. There. She is out of frame. Okay. So let's kind of bring it up a little bit. I like that position, I think, for now. Let's just work on her lips. I'm going to use this brush, I think. And let me wipe off this brush real quick and put her in the paint thinner. The solvent. And that way I won't have an incident where, because I had to order some new brushes. They think this is my last brush. So we're just going to clean this brush. You can't really see, but I've just poured a little solvent in this cup, in this little glass container. I'm just swishing it around. And despite what I'm doing, it's not going to get all this, the silicone off. It'll start building up, just like down there. Hi, Dolores. I am sorry that I missed when you first came in. I do keep trying to look at the screen to see when people come in, but how are you? And I'm happy that you're watching the live stream. I know a lot of people are coming back to watch it after it goes live, which I appreciate that too. Okay, so what we're doing now is we're getting ready to do Miss Lady's mouth. Let's do the inside of her mouth first, because she needs to have color in her mouth. And we'll be building up color. So we don't have to go like real, we don't have to go really hard on the color. It will take some time. So I want to make sure that I don't have any spots in there. When I say spots, just pools of silicone. Otherwise, I would dab it off if I thought I did. Hi, Pearly. How are you? Pearly is one of my best customers, guys. If y'all want to know where a doll went after it sold, it went to Pearly. 9 times out of 10, that's where the baby went. Let's see. Hello, Pepper. I always enjoy watching all of your videos. You are such an amazing artist. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I think Pearly is one of my biggest fans, y'all. And I so appreciate that. And she see a baby and she is like, I need to get that baby. I'm like, but it's not on sale yet. Well, let me know when it goes on sale because I want that baby. I'm like, I will. I will. So we got her lips. And also, I want to make sure that I keep her lips, around her lips clean, because I don't want her to have, I don't want it to look like she was in her mama's makeup. Oh, crap. Did y'all see what I just did? I got a little bit of blue on there. Now I got to get the alcohol and get that off. That one gets thrown in the garbage. Let's spray. I'm going to spray one of these. Get it really wet with alcohol. And then use that to clean off. Otherwise, she's going to look like she got a mustache. Okay, that's good. I do appreciate y'all showing up for the live. Y'all just don't know. Because then it feel like I'm talking to myself. I'm going to throw this away because I don't want to use it again. Because it got a little color on it. All right, so that's just a little indication of pink. We got a little bit here. Let's see. Oh. This is, I have this. So it's going to be a minute before I run out. Yeah, I think it's going to be a while before I run out. And then I still got more. All right. So she needs a little bit of color on her eyelids. Pardon me, guys, for coughing. Got a little. When I talk, I don't talk. Yeah, it might not. Believe it or not, I don't talk a lot. I just talk a lot when I'm talking to y'all on the camera. Just a little bit on the eyelids. This is faint blush of color. Across her nose. It's a little more paint. And then this part here. It's a little blush of color there. We just don't want her lips to seal together. It happens. It happens to me all the time. And we need to go back and add a little bit more color where we actually knocked off a little color. There. Okay. Now, she's going to have some color under here. But she also needs to maintain some light areas. So please, if you're doing a doll, don't make them mono. Don't. That's like the worst. Like I be seeing some beautiful kits and people paint them, but they forget that there's dimensions to the baby. And you don't want to see every part of the baby being one color. And that's where I can use this little applicator to address that. Okay, since I'm on this side, I might as well do this right here. This needs to stay white or as light as possible. Above that is a bit of a shadow. It's almost like she's frowning. So we're just going to add a little bit of color there. ears, since we're on this side. This is not creasing. So creasing, you would do more stuff. And also I would probably not use this color for creasing. We got color here. We got color behind the shell of her ears too. We need some veins back there, to be honest with you. Because it's such thin skin, we should be seeing some veins. Hi, Antique Treasure Reborns. I'm so happy you caught the live. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome. And then we're going to put a little bit of red here. Not too much. Just a little bit. And a little bit here. I'm having the best time ever doing this kit. This kit is so amazing. I love the color. The colors are so amazing. All right, let's get a little bit of color right in here. And I think that looks pretty darn good. She looks pretty darn good. So let's look behind her ears. Now you could make this tool into a stippling tool and then just kind of dot colors. I'm going to say she is a little bit red under here. What do y'all think? I think I see a little bit of red up around there. So that side looks really good to me. Let's cover up her little lady parts. I'm going to do a little turn so I can get a good perspective of the other side of her. I'm going to move this. I can see this spilling. I want to try to get a good perspective of the other side of her head. So I can turn this camera a little bit. Let's move the camera like this. I just want to bring it a little bit closer. So I want you guys to be able to see good. Even to me, this is like SD. It's not high definition, but hopefully on the playback, it will be a little bit better. Because right now, it's just so, I don't know. I might have to do something with the controls, but I swear, why do you have to ask for it to be HD? It should just know. Nobody wants to see things like they were in the 70s. There we go. So now I have to find the paintbrush again. Okay, here we go. Oh. We're going to do her little ear since it's right there. Do the back. I want to touch it, but I got to. Laurie Sullivan Roy sculpted this baby. And when I say that she sculpted it, she didn't scan it from a real baby. She took clay and molded this doll And these features, it's just, to me, that's just such perfection. The delicate shell of her ear is just so perfect to me. So that's why I did this kit twice. I am, as you can see, a fan of this kit. So Antique Treasure Reborn says, so do you pretty much use the same colors on vinyl that you do on silicone? Just different paint, yes. Depending on whether or not I am going for an ethnic color baby, it's just that's going to determine the mixture and blend that I use. Let's see, let's do this right here. So I like mixing. Well, I do have some colors that are already pre-mixed. Like, let's see. I had my little silicone disc here. This is a pre-mixed color that I put on her as a base. So there's no way that I could have mixed something this perfect. But for the most part, I enjoy putting on, mixing my colors myself. Good question. Thank you for that question. And just like before, we're going to put a little bit of red spot right there. Right under her neck. All right, Miss Lady, your chin. Your chin is so prominent with that cleft in it. I've never seen a baby with such a nice cleft. So we're going to make sure that people see it, because it's there. Here we go. So we need to put that shadow over her eye, over her brow, I should say, right here. And I'm just following the crease. And the key was to what I'm doing right now is not making the paint too pigmented. And again, I want to leave a lighter color, like right in here. And I want to leave a lighter color. So like when I do this, I want to make sure that I don't get into her eye, the bottom of her eyelid. Then just kind of stipple it out. A lot of times you'll hear us, or me especially, say I'm not painting the baby, although I have a paintbrush here. I'm applying color and then taking it off. We got some more dark spots on here. Oh, come on. There we go. A lot of times when I'm painting, let's see, I think that looks good. I just want to put a little bit on her temple. I don't know what the baby gonna look like. I don't know, like, I don't want to say I'm going for a biracial baby or something like that, because I stopped painting when it just feels right to stop painting. And so I don't know what her color is going to be. But on this one, when I saw how fair she was, I felt like she was going to be a very fair-skinned baby. And I've been doing a lot of fair-skinned babies. I did a baby with albinism. And I did Ella May. I tried to make her with albinism, but for some reason it just did not. Well, I know why it didn't turn out like that. She just turned out to look like, you know, just a normal Caucasian baby who had very fair skin. Here is a red spot that all babies have, all people have. We're going to put that in there. And on the other side, a little dot of red. Man, I tell you, this kit is awesome to paint. And then we have a little teeny bit red here. Ooh, I belched a little bit. Sorry, guys. I had an early lunch, which was loaded potato soup. And let's put a little bit in her nose. But we will come back and put more color in her nose. I just want to take a little bit off. Make sure that we didn't overdo the red. I kind of feel like her chin might need a little bit of color. Also, I feel like this area needs a little bit of color. And definitely we have to start to pinken up the nipples, but we're going to kind of leave the middle. I like to leave the middle. Okay, let's do this one. I got to turn her a little bit. Let's get you turned, little lady. And let's see, are we low enough for the belly button? Yes, we are. So we can get her belly button. And around her belly button. She already looks like a real baby now. Just with that. And we haven't even done the purple mottling. You know, just this little bit of blue already breathes so much life into her. So just imagine when we get with more of the mottling. More different colors. More tones, skin tones. There we go. I think a little bit darker in the right here. Then we'll do her fingertips. Then that should be it for our live today. And our toes, the tips of the toes. But that shouldn't be That shouldn't take long to do. Let me bring it out a little bit more. Yes. Um, that's a little, that's pretty good. Okay. So just a little bit of color to the tips of her fingers. And get rid of this piece of lint. This is so relaxing for me. I wouldn't do this. Believe me, I would not do this if it wasn't relaxing. And I'm retired, so I just kind of work on my own schedule and sell my dolls when I feel like it, feel obligated. It doesn't pay my bills. It's just a fun thing for me to do. And as long as I keep it fun and I don't let myself get stressed out over small details and stuff, I can find so much enjoyment in doing this. All right, here we go. And right now I'm just kind of concentrating on the front of her hands. Because I feel like if I start working on the back of her hands, I'm going to wipe off. So I'll have to do that later. The back later. On the palms of the hands, it's right here is where you see the blushing. And up here. And also, I might be able to just take some of this right here. And then just kind of sweep it back. Also, just a little brush right there. Little brush. And then I'm going to dab that off. So there's just the slightest indication of skin tone there. And then, of course, we'll do some creasing when we're getting to the creasing level. Again, I'm not going to be on here tomorrow because I will be on my TikTok doing a live of me rooting Amaya. And Amaya is my doll who is Asian, and I have created her, reborn her as a Japanese little baby, toddler. And I have completed her painting, which I did that on the TikTok. And now I need to do her rooting. So I will probably be on there for a couple of hours, to be honest with you. There we go. That's one hand. We'll lay her out there. Let's do her other hand. So if you do want to see my TikTok, I am going to be on there 2 o'clock Eastern. And my name on TikTok is Peppers. No, it is Peppers. Peppers with an S _ Reborns. Peppers Reborns. I'll try to put a link. There should be a link in the community page if you go back and look at some of the prior posts. And I hope you join me, because when I do a live on TikTok, unlike here on YouTube, I am able to play music. And so, yeah, I'll do that. I'll be playing like some music in the background, real music, not TikTok or not YouTube approved music, which I do like my music here on YouTube. Don't get me wrong. I am a big fan of it, but yeah, when I'm listening to my favorite music, it is not the YouTube music. Okay, so make sure that I get around her little fingers. Can you guys see good? Let me bring it a little closer. It's hard to remember to stay in frame. I start getting into a rhythm. Can you put the notifications so that we will know? I don't want to miss it. It's just, so you talking about the notification on YouTube? Because I didn't know I can do that. Yes, let me look that up. I will find out how to put the notification, not YouTube, on TikTok so that nobody misses it. Because that's what a lot of people were saying, like, I didn't get a notification. And so me and my sister were like, well, were we supposed to do something so that people get the notification? And she said she didn't know. I don't know. But we're going to find out. We're going to figure it out. So if you don't get a notification, it means I didn't figure it out. But I'm going to try my best. Okay, let's do this part right here first. Also, guys, like I was saying a little bit earlier, my sister has been doing lives almost every night on YouTube, brooding her baby, talking, answering questions. So she has an order for a little doll. I think it is, man, I swear I want to say Felicity. Can it really be Felicity that she is rooting? She had painted her Felicity so long ago, but she left it as a bald baby. And there was a person who was wanting to get a gift for his significant other, but he wanted a baby with lots of hair and asked her if she would root one of her babies. Oh yeah, the notifications on YouTube. Yeah, definitely. I have not been doing that because what has been happening is I'll just like roll out of bed and say, I think it's time to paint. But before before I turn on I can still go into the community page and say, hey guys, I'm painting. All right, let's do, can we see? Yeah, we can see enough to do her to this part right here. And again, this is not the creasing. This is just blushing or undertones. There we go. See a little bit here that needs to come off. One thing too is that once you once you mat the baby, He is going, they're going to lighten up significantly. So a lot of the things that I'm doing is going to really be subtle at some point. It's going to be super, super subtle. Hold on. I don't want to spill. I feel like that's going to be an accident waiting. Oh, I know I said I wasn't going to do. I'm not. Not yet. It might dry in a minute and I can do it, but talking to myself, I'm saying, I'm not going to do the back of the hand because this paint job that I did on the front of her palms and stuff is so delicate. I don't want to ruin it and have to do it over. But at least we got some color on her hand. Okay. Then we'll do some right here. Yeah, I'm dying to do the back of her hand. I mean, I am dying to do the back of her hand. I have to. I must. I'll just try very hard not to touch the front. That looks so realistic. Yeah, but once you do the, I don't think I should be touching her fingers though. Because that is just, no, that's too much. I have to come back with more paint to do her fingers. Because I will definitely have to pounce and I would definitely ruin the paint that I did on the underside because I had to do knuckles and I got to do around here, and I need for that to I need to actually touch her fingers to be getting that type of detail. Elbows. Can you see? Yeah. Making sure that I keep you guys in. When I do elbows, I like to do around. This has got blue on it. I don't know where that came from. I like to do around the elbow. I just think that adds a lot more, I don't know, more color. All right, so we did this hand. We did that elbow. Let's do this. I keep saying this is not the creasing level, but I feel like there's going to be a little bit of blushing here. So let's just do that. And then stipple it out. Same thing here. And same thing under her armpits. And kind of coming up. And same thing around this wrinkle that she sculpted. The sculptor sculpted a wrinkle. So I'm going to just kind of amplify that. Also, this is a mound. Slight mound. But It is a mound. So we can outline like this area and then just dab it out. Let's see. If I felt like she had ribs, I would do that too. But she's a little chunky. She's a little chunk. So no ribs. And then we'll just do that. Let's put a little bit more here. Now, literally, I probably could turn her around and do her backside because the paint here would cure pretty naturally, pretty fast. Because I'm just using the smallest amount. All right, I need to get her turned again so I can do this side and see everything. Oops. Okay. And let's make sure. Yeah, everything looks good. Let's do her elbow. And just kind of a circle. Now I'm looking at her ear. I kind of want to add a little more color in one part. Ew, that's what always happens. You see a little part. Okay. And then you start messing with it. Let's do the inside of her wrist again on this side. Kind of following that crease here. And it's flaring it down. You can't see. Oh, we'll turn it so you can see. Push it out a little bit so you can see better. Yeah, that's better. We put a little bit of blushing, but not enough. Just around it. And then just pounce a little bit of it off. Let's do her hands. Just the, not her fingers, just actually her hands. A lot of times if you see a lot of wrinkles on a baby and you put pigment on all of the wrinkles, you'll just kind of basically mess up the kit because then you'll have a wrinkled baby. It'll look like a little old man. Also, if you have a baby with creases in the forehead, you know, try not to paint those creases because then you'll look like you have a baby that's worried. I've done that before. I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? What did I do to that little baby? And we got under her arms. There's a little bit of color under her armpits. Okay, now we're going to get the blushing around the breast area, which will make it look like we have a mound. And like the way I paint is not the only way to paint this type of, this style of painting is not the only way to paint, is what I'm trying to say. I also paint in a style where there is no matting. There is no stippling like this. There's no blotchy color. I do a smooth, which really looks good. And you'll see that type of technique. But it really looks good for a baby like this, where you're trying to showcase the realism of a baby. So it really looks cute when you put, but sometimes, like, let's say you're doing a toddler, then yeah, I'm not going to do all of this. Let's see. I think this needs a little right here. Okay. Now I'm sitting down, so now I just need to stand up and make sure that I like everything before we go on to the feet. I like that. I think she could use a little bit, just a little bit more color on her fingertips. I may have wiped some off when I was doing other stuff, but we're just going to go back in and slap a little bit more color. And that's basically because she is a fair-skinned baby. And I think we're going to see a lot more of the reds in her skin tone than when I'm doing like my brown skin babies. That looks a lot better. I hope I didn't forget the other thumb. I gotta check. I'm always leaving out the thumb. There we go. Thumb is done. And now we just got to do the feet, the legs, and then that will end it for today's live stream. And then I will see you probably Monday, but I'll put a notification out on YouTube when I'm about to go live on YouTube. And then that way you'll know that I am here. Thank you again, guys, for coming by. I'm not going yet. I'm just saying thank you. Okay. Just bring it out a little bit. And then make sure, yeah, that's still good. All right. Now we're going to work on Precious feet. Precious is sculpted from a very soft EcoFlex silicone that has a type of slacker in it to make her extra soft. And gushy. Okay, let's get you in frame. And let's get our paint. Let's start with her knees first, because that just seems like, let's start higher and work our way down. There, that looks pretty good. I want to put a little bit right in here. This will be a creasing color, but the creasing color will have more brown in it. And it may even have a little bit of purple. Let's do behind here where I had that big old blue spotch. See if that'll help hide it a little bit. Poor baby girl, looked like she got varicose veins back there. I think that helped. There actually should be some blushing right here. So we'll just put that in there. Not too much. She don't have a diaper rash. That's right here. Okay, let's do the bottom of the feet before we do, before we mess up. Yeah, let's do the bottom. I'm trying to think, do I do the bottom or do I do, yeah, we'll do the bottom. So it's like a C on this foot. And it kind of goes out like that. She got a fat foot. There's not that much detail on her feet, on at least the bottom of her feet. Like, she doesn't have like lines. So on this baby, I doubt that I will paint any lines in it. I ain't gonna do too much to the bottom of her feet, because the artist, the sculptor, I'm the artist, the sculptor did not do too much to the bottom of her feet. So I'm not gonna mess with the bottom too much. Just gonna add a little bit of color. And a little bit of color here. A little on the side. Got some on her, no, I didn't. About to say on her toenails. Trying to leave her toenails alone. This is the only toe that moves. So, oops. So use that to wipe that little bit of dust off. Okay, now that we've done blushed the knee, just add this here. Just a little bit of color. And make sure that we don't have any lines. Just the impression of color. Ankles, just underneath, and maybe going up a little bit. And get a little closer to the camera so you can see. And same thing here. I think I always like a little bit of red here. There. Let me just add a teeny bit more red on the heel. Leave this part blank. That's good enough. That is good enough. Maybe just right here. Bottom of this feet. Our paint is starting to get thick, but not too thick to work with. It's just was very liquidy at first. And now it's kind of gel-like. There we go. I think that looks very realistic for a little baby. Maybe bring a little bit more like that. Maybe dab a little bit off. I think that looks pretty good. And around here, that looks pretty good. And here, and now this part of the ankle. Okay. And we'll do that. And up here. And here. Every crease doesn't have to have a blush on it. Again, that's where we start getting into situations where our baby looks wrinkled, old. And we don't want that effect. Now, we're going to do the knee. Just kind of around. And then off camera, I will do the blushing on her little lady parts. because it won't be that much. She don't need all that much. And then we'll do up under here. I want to keep that straight as possible to make sure that we don't get another line like we did with this blue up under where she has natural folds. Let's get that piece of hair off. And we'll just get a little bit here, just a little bit. And then also I want to get this right here. Maybe right here. I think the next modeling color I'll do will be a magenta, or kind of like a purple tone. But for now, I think we are done. What do you guys think? Let's kind of raise the camera so we can see her face. And I'll just kind of move her down a little bit. So we got her face, her ears, her lips, her little cleft chin, and we did her hands, the back of her hands. But we didn't do her fingertips yet. And we got her little feet done. So guys, I think that is going to be it for today. Plus I'm starting to get hoarse. But I just want to thank you guys for showing up, and I will see you the next time. Bye.